What is good, everyone? Oji over here from Player Essence, and welcome to my conference breakdown, or my conference grade for Ubisoft. Now, I will be going over all the different conferences, but Ubisoft was the most recent conference that I have watched at the time that I'm recording this video, so I wanted to get my thoughts out on Ubisoft just while it's fresh, right? So, overall, I thought it was a good conference. They had the Division 2 there, they had Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle, the DLC with Donkey Kong, and they had Grant Kirkhope and a bunch of very good-looking, attractive women and other people playing instruments. I mean, it was great. It was fantastic. They also had Starlink Battle for Atlas, which we'll talk about in a little bit. That was the big one. But let me get into some of the other things. They had Skull and Bones. They just had a variety of stuff. Trials. That new game was looking pretty good as well. The Crew 2, the Division 2, and I want to talk about the Division just a little bit more because I think that while we get caught up in all of this loot boxes and all this stuff like that, the fact that they said the Division 2 is coming and they have 3 DLC packs and all of them will be free. I mean, it seems like no strings attached at this point outside of you having to buy the game is actually somewhat exciting. Now, I've only played a little bit of the Division, but it makes me want to at least try it out. I do like some of the RPG elements. I've just heard some kind of things about the game in terms of the grind, but maybe they fixed that with some of this. Now, I wasn't terribly excited with everything that they showed when it comes to the Division. It looks pretty standard, but I think that I do like the gameplay. I like third-person shooter RPG games, and the Division is there. Like I said, I played the Division 1. I thought it was just kind of meh, but I want to try to give the franchise another shot. So I'll probably be picking up the Division 1 and playing through that before the Division 2. So I think that was a good showing for people who do like the Division. The game did really well too. Now, I also want to talk about Skull and Bones a little bit more because I did say, hey, they have Skull and Bones, but this game is a little bit too much for me. I think it's a little bit too much. It looks good. Graphically, it looks awesome. Like always, Ubisoft's games usually look really good graphically. It looks just good, but to me, the problem is that there's just like too much reliance on online multiplayer, too much reliance on other people, and I just don't want to go through that. So I can understand that for a game that's trying to be like maybe way better Sea of Thieves, you know what I'm saying? After Sea of Thieves, obviously they're making this game at the same time. I'm not saying that it ripped it off, but I'm just saying like in that type of game out there on the sea and everything, I think that it's going to find its audience just because Sea of Thieves has, but I just don't think that it's the type of game for me. But I realize that it's a good type of game and it's going to be fun for those who like to play that style. They have the For Honor DLC and all that stuff on there. You can play the game for free on Ubisoft's The Uplay. That game's for free on there, so that was good too. Giving away a free game, that's awesome. Just the only problem is you have to do it through Uplay, but it's still a free game at the same time, so free is better than not free. So I do like that, and maybe I'll give that one a shot. And I also want to talk just a little bit more about the Mario plus Rabbids DLC before we kind of get into the main thing here. We're going to talk about the Assassin's Creed Odyssey and then we'll talk about the main thing. But I think that the Mario plus Rabbids DLC is brilliant. Bringing Grant Kirkhope out on there and having everyone play the music was amazing. I thought that was a very good way, and I'm giving them extra points for that. And the DLC just looks awesome. The DLC looks fun. They have that Cranky Kong Rabbid. I mean, everything just looks really good. And they were right. Like, the graphics have definitely been upgraded from what they were before. The game looks sharper in that DLC gameplay footage than the actual game itself. So I'm pretty sure they're going to roll out that update when the DLC drops. They gave a release date for it, June 26th, I believe. So we'll be able to get our hands on that pretty soon here, a couple weeks, and we'll have that Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle DLC. So I like the setup. I like the build up to it. I like the fact that they had Grant Kirkhope there. And Ubisoft, just one thing that I would say is please turn off your mics, Ubisoft. Turn off your mics. We had that with saying it's always changing up the schedule. We had that with that, and then we also had it with Beyond Good and Evil 2. I want to talk a little bit about that before we kind of move on to the other two things. Beyond Good and Evil 2, I like the game. I think the game looks cool. I think that it's going to be a good game, but I'm not a huge fan of the way that they're rolling out these bits and pieces, and now they're gameplay beta, gameplay alpha. You guys can help us make the game. It's like, can you not just finish the game, give us a release date? Like, I'm not really a fan of just how long this is being dragged out. Never been a fan of that type of development, but hey, it's their game. They're doing what they need to do to make sure that it's a good game. So I think that's going to be really good, but we'll have to wait and see to what people say with the behind closed doors demo that's going on, because the gameplay does look very interesting and very unique and different from what we saw with Beyond Good and Evil 1. So that's awesome as well. Now, I do want to move into the next thing here, and that is Assassin's Creed Odyssey. The game looks really good graphically, and from a gameplay standpoint, it seems like they're really moving this into Assassin's Creed being a hardcore RPG, or at least they're trying to get it into that to where people think of Assassin's Creed and RPG. Whenever I've thought about Assassin's Creed, it's always been action game. It's always been action adventure. It's never been RPG. But I guess that changed with last year's Assassin's Creed The Origins and then also Assassin's Creed Odyssey. They're moving it towards an RPG, and I think that's the way to go if you want to get me into the franchise, at least. Like, now, this is probably the most interesting looking Assassin's Creed game that I have seen probably since Assassin's Creed 3. That was the last one that I was most interested in because there was a Native American that was starring it, and I like Native Americans. So this is probably the most interesting one since that one, and I might be buying this one. If it ends up being okay or good, I might be buying this one once it's on sale or discount. So to get me excited in Assassin's Creed, it takes a lot for me to get excited in Assassin's Creed because I don't like Assassin's Creed games, but this one has my attention, so I have to give Ubisoft points for that. Now, moving on to the last thing here, and I might have missed an announcement or two, but moving on to the last thing here, guys, Star Fox and Starlink Battle for Atlas. That was the surprise. That is the biggest surprise of E3 for me because it was completely unexpected. And now Ubisoft is setting themselves up to where pretty much every year we're going to expect some type of collaboration between Ubisoft and between Nintendo. But I am thoroughly thrilled that Star Fox and crew will be coming to Starlink Battle for Atlas because it just fits so perfectly. And I remember saying that last year, like, man, this could be like a Star Fox style of game. And to see that type of world, how big it is, and have them develop it, and then you put Star Fox in there, so we kind of get a pseudo Star Fox game, but not a rail shooter, is really good. Like, if Star Fox was to evolve, this was the way that it needed to evolve. So here's what I'm thinking, guys. I'm thinking that if Starlink Battle for Atlas with this Star Fox collaboration, it's obviously going to sell the most on the Nintendo Switch, and then you have that cool Star Fox, type of model thing. Maybe they have Star Fox parts that you can use in the game because you can have some toys to life type of deals with it, but you don't have to get that. You can get everything in the game. So you don't have to go out and buy those. But I'm thinking that if this game is really successful, which I think it will be, I think that we could get a real collaboration between the developers of this game, Ubisoft, and Nintendo for a brand new Star Fox game in that same world, using that engine in that same vein, which that uses, if I'm not correct, uses the Snowdrop engine. Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle, The Division, Starlink, very versatile. Very, very versatile in terms of what this engine can do. I mean, 3 completely different types of games, but yet it's all handling them very nice. So I'm excited to see Starlink Battle for Atlas and battle it out with Star Fox and crew. That was the best announcement so far for me at E3 because it was just completely unexpected. Everything else was rumored or leaked beforehand, or just like, I just knew what to expect. I knew the game was going to look like that. I knew what they were going to do, whether I saw some stuff beforehand or not. But I mean, to me, that was just amazing. Star Fox has never looked better, and it's really sad to say, but you guys see that right behind me, right? That's Star Fox Zero. There is a very good chance that this game, Starlink Battle for Atlas, is better than Star Fox Zero, which is yikes. Which would be yikes somewhat, but it did come after it. But either way, they're different types of games. But overall, I'm excited. I think Ubisoft's conference was really good. I'm going to go ahead and give it a solid B. A solid B is my score for Ubisoft's conference. They had some great stuff. The pacing was just a little bit off here and there, but it wasn't horrible. It was not horrible pacing. I think that I'm only giving them a B because there wasn't a ton of new announcements, but there was a lot of good announcements. I mean, we had the trials. We did have some cool stuff, and they didn't finish off with a bang like they usually finish off with like a brand new thing that we haven't seen before. But at the same time, they still had a solid conference, and they did show off quite a bit of Switch stuff too. They showed off, I think, 3 different Switch parts and 4 if you count Just Dance. So there you go. So what do you guys think about all the different stuff that we discussed here? What was your biggest takeaway? What are you most excited for when it comes to what Ubisoft showed off? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. All right, Ninja, that wraps it up for this video here. Go ahead and check out the links in the description below. We got Facebook and Twitter. Go ahead and give us a like and a follow on our social media. Really helps us spread the content of Player Essence across the internet in addition to YouTube. Also, make sure you check out our Patreon, Twitch, and YouTube Live gaming page and consider supporting Player Essence. When you do so, it gets you access to all sorts of cool benefits, perks, rewards, and emotes via YouTube sponsorship. So check out the link in the description below and consider supporting Player Essence right here on YouTube. Hit that like button if you did like this video. Let me know you guys want more content like this going forward in the future. And subscribe to Player Essence for the latest RPG, Japanese, and Nintendo gaming news. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll catch you, Ninja, for the next video. Peace.